Hello, my name is Carla Bernberg, and I am the Chief Storyteller for Next Step Foundation. Sadly, here in Austin, Texas, and not there with you in Nairobi. But I wanted to take some of your time to share a little bit of what I do at the foundation. Now, my work is mainly amplifying other people's stories, keeping myself out of it. What we're going to talk about today is the part of my work which I want to kind of give you all a framework to create your own of, and it's sharing my own story. And the way we do this professionally is on the great platform of LinkedIn. Some of you may already be there, and what we talk about today should help you kind of energize your profile, maybe personalize it a bit. Many of you may never have gone to LinkedIn before as a platform. That is fine. I'm going to take you through all of the steps, and you'll see me glance down and you'll receive this document as well. There's no need to take notes or memorize this, but I wanted to walk you through it with the visuals. So when you spend time doing it on your own, you kind of know what you're looking for and where to click and what to cut and paste, all of that. So I am going to share my screen. LinkedIn.com. The very first thing you do is simply go there and get a profile using your full name. And a lot of us have nicknames or other names we go by. Whatever name matches that which is on your CV. So we're at LinkedIn. Before we get started or overwhelmed with all of this information, there are a few things that I'm going to suggest you think about. It's the same sort of process I went through years and years ago when I did my first LinkedIn profile, and the same sort of questions I ask myself now when I look at my profile to be sure, am I representing myself as I want others to see me, as I want people I want to network with to perceive me? So before we even do anything, take a beat and think about what makes you, you. This whole venture into the platform of LinkedIn is not stressful because all we are doing is talking about ourselves and we know us. So take a minute and think about, why am I here? Do I want a job? Do I want to network with people who do the same thing I do at different companies? Keep that in mind and also begin to ask yourself, what makes you unique? This is a tough question for many of us because we think, I don't know, LinkedIn, as much as it is about fancy certifications or fancy degrees, it's really about our lived experience as well and what we bring to the job we're trying to get or what we bring to the networking coffee we're trying to get. So really start thinking about that. What makes me unique as I go into creating my platform? Another question to think about, and this one's fairly simple. Why am I here? Why am I on LinkedIn? I have a job with the foundation. I'm both looking for potential donors to fund my project with the foundation. So I created my profile with that in mind. I'm also looking to network. So I want people to come to my profile, really get a sense of who I am, and hopefully make them say, sure, I'll do a Zoom coffee with you. At different points in my life, I was on this platform to find a job. So I was very careful with the language I put on there, and we'll talk about this, to create a platform which showcased my skills, my passion, my unique life experiences to my best advantage to get the job interviews I wanted. So what makes you unique? Start thinking about that. Why am I here? Is it to network or is it to get a job? So keep that in mind before you even begin your profile. Starting at the very beginning. Now, mine may be not the best example of this, but it's an example. Your picture just needs to be clear. It doesn't need to be an expensive photo shoot. It doesn't even need to be super buttoned up and serious. Just engaging so that I can see who you are. Don't use stock photo images. I know some people on LinkedIn who still use maybe avatars of their brand logo. I'm not a fan. Just a clear picture taken of you using your phone, upload that. And the way we make all uploads and changes on the platform is always by clicking these little pencils. I have the Next Step Foundation header. You can leave the basic header. There's no need to get fancy. In fact, you can create a unique header on Canva and upload it. I recommend you don't. Most often when you're working for someone, Kenya Airways, they might ask you to put your header up being their logo. Otherwise, just leave it plain. So there's my name. Underneath my name is the most, I think it's the most, even more than your about. It's your headline. I'm looking down at my little cheat sheet. This is the first thing people see. When they see my name, my headline's fine, not great, but it's the first thing they see that helps them begin to formulate a sense of who I am and if they want to engage further. There are no rules here. The only big tip I will give you is keep it simple and clear. It's almost like your personal professional tagline. It's a short phrase that summarizes who you are and what you do. Even if you're not doing it right now, if you are looking for that position in digital marketing, for example, you can still put that in your headline. Carla Bernberg, skilled digital marketer. Another tactic people use in their headlines, I don't really have this, is weaving in important buzzwords in the world of work you're looking for a job in or currently working. Going with that same example of marketing, it might be weaving in SEO, that kind of thing. So this is not just the job you're currently doing. If you look at mine, it's not. It's not just the job you're seeking. It's your enthusiasm and your expertise around your entire world of work. I begin mine with the LinkedIn Top Storytelling Voice accolade I received because that's the first thing I want people to see about me. I want them to grow curious or even challenging. Is she a good storyteller? I don't know. Let me check out the rest of that profile. So headline, short, concise. I've said this to Alan. I'm happy to look at your headlines if somebody wants kind of some feedback or help, but it's really you, who you are in your professional life. So that's the headline right here. Skimming down, the next, and this is the other big piece, is your about section. Again, we click on the pencil, and this is how yours would look blank. Mine, I could edit it. I cannot recommend enough writing this somewhere else. Pull up a Google Doc, pull up a Word doc, write it in your phone, and then cut and paste, but work on it, revise it somewhere else, and then put it in. That way you don't accidentally hit save and have a unrevised, half done about section published on the platform. Not that I would know anything about that. So that's my tip. Do it somewhere else to begin. This section is key because when it comes to your experience below, that is just a cut and paste from your CV. Here's where you have the opportunity to be creative in a professional fashion. This is your chance to tell your story. If you have never had a job ever, you still have an about section. because there are experiences, maybe trainings, maybe not, but lived experiences that have brought you to LinkedIn today to share that you're looking for work with the world. So everybody has something to put into this section. I don't do this, and I really may go back and revise. Lots of people open with a very professionally casual, engaging sentence or two. I mean, I might not put Mambo VP, but a lot of people do say, greetings from wherever they are, and then dive into what they do. And it's that I refer to it as structured casual. It looks very off the cuff and informal, but it's done in a very deliberate way to draw people in and to get them to want to read the rest of your about. That's the goal. So mine begins with something that's very important to me. I noticed and added this later that I say, whether I'm working, whether I'm just hanging out with my team, connection is the through line of my life, that I seek connection. I like to bring people together. So I added that to my LinkedIn. I thought that will give you, before you hear anything about what I've done with my life, that gives you a sense of who Carla is. Creating connection is the through line of my professional career. I'm a connector of people, places, and things. Those first two sentences tell you nothing about what I've done, but it tells you everything about who I am. So that's the structured casual that you can think about beginning your about section with. It could be about your life. I've seen people powerfully put very short snippet stories about an experience that impacted them so deeply, it became their why behind the career path they chose. So this is an opportunity to really get personal and draw them in. And then and again, it's all here. So there's no need to memorize this, but after you transition into the professional journey, briefly talk about your career. Your career may just be finishing through secondary school. That's fine. Tell them about your school career. Perhaps talk about significant milestones, something you achieved. I graduated secondary and I'm the first in my family. Achievement. So that's the beginning of our about section. Here's also an opportunity to highlight your skills. Back to the marketing example, if you know how to use Canva, if you know how to use Microsoft Word, whatever it is, you can do a bullet point list of skills that you have, Python, that might relate to the job that you're looking for. So that's the dry LinkedIn part. You've got your opener, you've got your professional journey and your skills. And then we come to what can really set us all apart, our value proposition. Take a minute to share what your experiences are that make you who you are, that will make you valuable to this recruiter looking at your profile, that make you valuable at your current job, working at Safaricom or whatever it is, that make you valuable as a networking partner. Please say yes to my Zoom coffee LinkedIn person looking at my profile. Anything, and we all have something where you often think about yourself, I am so good at that. Thinking about one specific person on my team from years ago, he was so charismatic, confident, charismatic, did sales, and I encouraged him to put that in his about. Just, I'm charismatic, people listen to me and they want to act on suggestions I make. Now is not the time to be shy or play small. I know it feels awkward, But as the Americans say, it's the about section is the place to, and this is a really weird phrase as I'm about to say it, toot your own horn. Really take a minute to highlight what you bring to a potential company or your current job, because that's why we're here. This is not the place to say, oh, I'm not that great. You're great. Tell people we want to get attention. And the very end is, and I don't have this, I think I've had it through the years, but you can wrap up this section with what your career goals are. Adding in a snippet of, I aspire to, my dream really is, helps others, that recruiter who's looking at your LinkedIn profile, kind of get a sense of your path, where you want to go. Yes, she's a great fit for this job that I have, because right now she kind of is a little overqualified, but I see what her goals are and there's room for her to expand at this company. So beginning with some opening sentences, structured, casual, or informal, briefly talking about your career journey. Again, you're not my age. There may not be much to put in there, and that's okay. The journey may just be getting through secondary school to even have a LinkedIn profile, getting through the training to even have a reason to want to join LinkedIn. Don't get overwhelmed and feel like you don't have enough. Transitioning into what your skills are, Canva, certifications. If you don't have anything, don't put anything. And then going next into what sets you apart. What is that spark that you bring that you really know deep down other people don't have? And wrapping it up with where you want to go. In a dream world, what would you be doing in 5 years? Most importantly is, if I'm a recruiter or if even just a LinkedIn member, I see so many of these and they are kind of boring and repetitive. And this is your opportunity to make yours not so. Share a short snippet story about yourself, share a personal insight who shows who you are outside of work. I kind of love it when I go to big executives' LinkedIn's and it's, I did this, I did that, I have these skills, but on the weekends, don't bother me because I'm coaching soccer with my kids. I love that. So really embrace this and make it you. So we are not doing this on LinkedIn. Put it in the body of an email and cut and paste anything. When you've pasted it in, just hit save. And there you go. All of this stuff gets filled in as you share articles, posts on LinkedIn. So that's why we're not going over that. Here's the experience. You click on the pencil to edit, but this is all cut and paste from your CV. You want always the CV, if you have one, to match what's on LinkedIn. If you don't have a CV, that's fine. The only most important thing is put your most recent job first. Work backwards. And it doesn't matter. The jobs do not need to be impressive. I've helped people do their LinkedIn profiles where Java house, waitress, responsible, because you want to put some bullet points underneath to explain what you did, responsible for opening 3 days a week, responsible for closing Sundays and getting cash to the bank, whatever it is, at least have one position on there, make it your most recent. And make it match your CV if you have one. Education, same thing. If you have it, add it using the pencil to edit. If you don't, skip it. Licenses and certifications, exact same thing. Volunteering, same thing. The hardest part of all of this is opening that linkedin.com and getting your account. Once you get started and start filling in the basics, you can add to it and tweak it later. The toughest thing is really just, it feels overwhelming. It's a professional platform, so it can feel intimidating to all of us. The hardest part is getting started. You can keep revising and should, especially that headline. So let's go through this just one more quick time. You got your picture? Clear from a phone, cut and paste, upload. Headline, which is that it's like the headline in a newspaper. You want it to be eye-catching because this will show when you comment on a post, you want someone to see your comment, see the beginning of your headline and think, I have got to follow them, or I have got to connect with them. That's why my first thing is LinkedIn top storytelling voice, because I want people to think, oh yeah, who is that? And come to your profile from your comment. So that's the headline. We go down to the about, we open it with a story, engaging sentences or not, your professional journey, your skills, what makes you unique, where you want to go with your career, personalize, make this show off your personality and your lived experience. Speaking of experience, here are our jobs. If you have nothing to put here, we can think of something. If you have lots of things to put, make the top one your most recent experience. Are there ways to make this more fancy as you go on? Sure. You can do, as I have here, featured articles. Most important is the framework and beginning to make connections on the platform. I would encourage all of you in a WhatsApp group to share your LinkedIn profiles. So if nothing else, you're starting connected to each other. So I'm going to try to stop my share. Oh, it worked. That's it. It's a fun platform. It's an easy platform. Like everything, it's just habits, setting it up and going there consistently, maybe once a day for 5 minutes. But I will get you this document through Alan, and Alan knows how to get in touch with me. I'm absolutely available if I can do anything that might be helpful as you get started marketing yourself and networking and making connections in Africa and beyond on LinkedIn. So thank you. I appreciate your time. I wish I were there with you, but maybe next time.